Good morning, it's Carol Martine, and I'm back in my studio with my large, just for me, leaf extravaganza. This has been great fun, and since our last meeting, on the first go around on this piece in which we worked on this one, and this one, I have done some experimenting. I have added some backgrounds on this, these, and so forth. And I even experimented with doing something like this on these two. And I thought I'd start today working on this one. I'm quite comfortable with everything except this one. This, I think, is going to be my Waterloo. I started out this morning adding just some vein work on this one, thinking it might help. Well, not so much. This is going to be my step too far, but we're going to see what I can do and what you could possibly do to improve an oopsie. Let's look more closely at what we have here. I don't believe that I mopped up or tapped with my Viva enough to lighten the load of these various shades of red. The only part of this that I do like, and it was an accident, was this granulation on one of my reds. I did do some tapping with the Viva, but it obviously grew back together when I wasn't looking. I think it felt as though I was getting a little bit sure of myself, so it decided to wake me up. It certainly did. It's aggravating the stew out of me. So I'm going to look at it as a challenge. This piece, I just laid on a nice undercoating of Cascade, which is a Daniel Smith color, which is this one, and then some of my blues from my original palette. This was my first experiment in terror. I decided that the only way I was going to get this to work would be to put these on in pencil, which I did, and then I did an undercoat and treated each one of these separate areas individually so that I could get that gradation in color, because you know the mantra of watercolor is change color, change color. Then I tried this one, and I'm quite tickled with the effect I got on that one. So, here we go. This is the sketch, the pencil sketch for the striping on the leaves, and now I'm going to water this one, wet this one, just the way we did all of the other ones. And then again, if I were to get some runnage or bleeding from this blue leaf or even my background, that would be fine. It would just add character or pizzazz or whatever to the leaf. Let me look and see how we're doing with the shine here. Not so much. Let's get some more water on here. That's better. Now I'm going to let that water sit for a moment so that it can seep into this paper. Alrighty. Now, I believe that this really can't get worse, and it's niggling at me. So, let's see about doing wet on dry and seeing if I can't pull out add on and pull out. Oh my, should I? Yes, as I said, this would go a long way to get worse. Now let's spread this out a bit. Add the water, give it a place to play, and let's hope that it doesn't move these sepia veins all over the place, which it looks like it's going to do, whether I want it to or not. But that will be a learning experience about trying to do a cheat fix by adding veins. Alrighty, now let's have a little lighter on this side, and let me get this hard line out before it becomes ingrained. Alrighty. I'm wondering if this might need just a touch of another color in here. There we go. Let's see what happens now. Certainly could very well be that we're taking this to a new level of awful, but why not? And just a touch of this orange up in this area, maybe down here. Why not? Now I'm going to be sure to do what I did not do before, which is do this and pray. Let's see. Well, maybe a little bit of improvement. In the meantime, let's get back to that one. And I need a smaller brush. I think I'm going to give this one a try. But first, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put my undercoat on here. And I believe I'm going to use this Serious Yellow. And maybe just a little quinacridone gold, because this leaf appears to be under this blue one. So let's make sure that we give it a chance to do that. Righty. I think I'm going to turn this around a little bit so it's more convenient for working, and tune in a little bit more tightly to that one. And let's start with some of our new gamboge, because the last time we worked here we found out that this is a very strong color. Maybe a little bit of the alizarin orange. Let's go to our next section. Whoops, this is much too wet. So we're going to let it rest a little bit because it's not staying in the line, so it needs to be. Allowed to dry a little bit more. Glaze over this and see what happens. I'm hoping for a happy accident. And I think I will water down this undercoated purple because I want to stay away from that for a while. I can see it's got still has too much shine on it, which means it's too wet. If you can float a boat on it, we certainly aren't going to be able to do the work that we're trying to do to keep our colors under control. Now, how about some serious purple up here? maybe just down this side a little bit. Wouldn't it be nice if the colors would, in watercolor, would stay exactly what they are when we put them down? But oh no, watercolor has a life of its own. Maybe a little bit purple lake over here. Oh, it's still too cold. I'm thinking that addition might have killed some of that "look at me, I'm red" effect. So let's get some red back up here. This water is starting to leach into the other areas, which is a nice thing. Now some alizarin. Let's darken up this side. And maybe just a bit of purple. Whoops. Whoops, not there. Just a bit of purple mixed up with some of this Pyroline maroon. And some water from me. Excuse me. Right, where were we? Oh yes, purple. Maroon. Let's see if we can't, because this area is under this leaf. Get these lines out. Don't let them happen if I can possibly help it. I'm liking that dark. Yes, yes. 2 yeses are a good thing. as bad as it was. I'm wondering if some of this dark orange might work a treat here. Because it's a strong orange. I don't seem to be able to leave this one alone, do I? I shall stop, I promise. This might be there. Let's see. This is a pointed filbert, and it should work nicely in this area. Well, when the paper is right, it certainly seems quite willing to do what it's supposed to do. Here we go. Yes. Now the water that was in this brush is moving because this is quite a wet area. So it's moving along nicely. And let us try. Ready? Now there's a lot of water there. So I think I'll come under with this lighter yellow and let it work together. Now, back up here. here. And over here. Oh my, that's nice and dark, isn't it? Let's see what we can do now. Oh, I like that. Let's go talk to this one again. And that one. Now that's a little strong, so I'm going to tap some water in there and move it out a little bit. Although I must say that I like what it does. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Joy of watercolor is to explore and find out what's possible. What you want to have happen. And because of this magnificent point on that brush, this is happening. I do believe I'm going to leave that alone. And I do believe that I'm going to leave that alone for a while. Let's get back to this one. Nope, we can't go there. I don't want to go there yet because I'm going to leave that right there. Let's get some undercoating on this one. Let's have some water. Water everywhere on this one. And we'll at least lay down the undercoat today. Oh yes, the light is hitting this just right so that I can see the shine of the water. Now, decisions, decisions. Thinking I'm going to start out with some of the maroon. Maybe a touch of opera to play up against it. Ah, yes. Goodness, more red. I seem to be a glutton for punishment. Right. Let's have a little of that in at the very beginning so that I can think that I've learned something. I'm liking this area very much. And when all else fails, a little bit of new gamboge to join the party here. This looks like an oak leaf. So let's see what we can do about getting an underpainting going here of something that would be compatible with oak leaf, dry oak leaf colors, many, many shades of browns. All right, I see a dry spot. Get rid of that. Now, let's try to underpaint this with some yellow ochre because, as we have discovered before, it lays down the warmth as a background for a lot of colors, and yet doesn't seem to shout too badly over them for attention. I believe it's about time for me to stop today because I don't want to keep going on and on, although certainly I could. But I know that you have other things to do. So, yes, we'll leave that alone. It's starting to show some color, and I'm not hating that as much as I did to start out today, so I guess that's a good thing. Well, I'm on a roll. Let me lay down some color here because it seems to be almost self-motivating when there is something there. Be careful here, although if ochre swims over, that will, which it's doing, that will not be a problem. Now here is a fairly opaque color, which I don't really use very often. I'm not a cerulean girl, but as a background, let's see what we can make it do. What happens when you put your brush in your mouth because you're in a hurry. There we go. Better. Goodness, I wish you could be. I wish I could hear what you're thinking about a background for that one. Okay. It's telling me that a nice pale pink under there, and because I can do anything I want on top of that, might just work out. I do hope that you have enjoyed watching me swim among the leaves here and do what I could to the monster. And if you have, I would appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with a friend, and I would appreciate it, of course, if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm going to stop. Let's have a look at what has happened today. Alrighty. This is our underpainting, and maybe if I had done that over here, I wouldn't be in such a pickle. We have this one ready and this one, and I hope to be getting back to this project fairly soon. Thank you again for watching me play with pigment, and I think you can see that color makes the muse start to speak to you. The fact that there is something, anything on some of these has pushed me into thinking. And if you'll notice how this one is coming out is completely different. I was afraid that the darks might be too dark, but upon looking at them, I think they're just fine. They're going to stay that way. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to be getting back to this soon. Have a happy holiday. Bye-bye.